Hey guys, welcome back to the Miller Park Minute. It is 2023, and we are starting anew. So we are starting a new format. This is a daily podcast where we talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. We throw strikes and get likes. I am your host, Eric Agnew, and we are finally back. Long Christmas vacation. I stopped doing lives during the Christmas break. Um, just getting started here. We are starting a new format for the 2022 um or 2022. I'm gonna say it. It's the first day. It's January 1. I'm recording this a day ahead of time. So we're, we're gonna start this year with a podcast. And we're gonna try and do this every day. So come back once a day. Check out my podcast feed if you check it out on YouTube or Anchor, or you can go over to the Apple Podcast app, Spotify. It's going to be everywhere. But what we're going to do every day is we're going to talk about different topics about the Milwaukee Brewers. First up, first on the thing, we're gonna get right to it. I know it took a minute to get into this, but 2023 predictions put out by Adam McKelvey. This was put out on December 30th, so a couple days ago. But I find it very relevant, and there's some things that I'm gonna read through here, and I'm gonna give my thoughts and opinions, and maybe my input. So we'll kind of go through this together. This will be a shorter episode for the first one. These typically will be about an hour, so if you listen to it right away in the morning when you get in your car, you can hear everything I have to say about the Milwaukee Brewers. With that being said, this is a fan podcast. I am no professional, so I will rip on the professionals all I want. And yeah, if you got any feedback for me, let me know. But let's start with Adam McKelvey. First of all, Adam McKelvey is the Brewers beat writer. He is a paid employee of MLB, the Milwaukee Brewers. He is not going to hit very, very hard or very strong. He's going to go with kind of the narrative and the story that the Brewers want you to hear. And everything he puts out kind of puts a positive light on things. If you haven't seen that already, it's very predominant in what he does and what he puts out, and what you've read, his takes on the Brewers, Josh Hader trade and everything like that, which we know now is an abysmal failure. Yeah, so let's cut right into this list here. Number one, he talks about here are predictions for the 2023 Milwaukee Brewers. Here are some serious, some aren't. Don't hold me to anything. So he's basically saying that this is just an article to get our attention. And you take the good with the bad. There's another article or another piece that I'm going to reference here in a few moments. This was put out by a insider, quote unquote, who had Christmas holiday with the Milwaukee Brewers staff member. So we'll talk about that as well in this episode. So number one, he predicts a Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, or Willie Adames will sign a big extension before opening day. So this one's a hot debate because a lot of people are like, oh, that's why the Brewers haven't spent a single dollar in free agency. I hope. I mean, I'd like to hope that that's accurate. I really do, because I think at this juncture, we need something. We need to have that justify everything that we've had happen so far. And it's pretty huge. And I want to bring up our sponsor is SeatGeek. Miller Park Minute is the code, $20 off. You can use it for Bucks, Brewers, Packers, concerts, anything. Go on over to SeatGeek and get yourself $20 off using the code Miller Park Minute as typed out below. That being said, moving on to number two. We will start opening day against the Cubs, but Woodruff will lead the team in Burns will start opening day against the Cubs, but Woodruff will lead the team in innings. I'm not going to say that one's totally out of the realm. Burns could get hurt. Woodruff could get hurt. I mean, we saw a series of injuries last year, even though we had a historic start to the season. So I'll let him go on that one. I won't go too far on that. The next one. That we even have to talk about this means there's not enough to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. The Bratwurst will shatter the single-season record for victories in the sausage race. The final day of the season, who will dramatically remove the costume and reveal that he's been David Stearns all along. I get it, it's a joke. Not a good one. Moving on. Aaron Ashby will be the primary setup man by September. I like this one. I find this interesting because Aaron Ashby was kind of dubbed as that could be the fifth starter. So I think seeing Aaron Ashby in a different role, if they seem to have this thing where they can mold pitchers to what they want them to be. So I really look forward to seeing more development from Ashby. Small, I'd love to see Small come up and be a piece of this. Maybe a long reliever. We need some of those guys. We haven't signed. One of the big needs I said on a live a couple months back was we need those relievers and star caliber ones. So maybe we're going to work on them from within. I will give a positive spin for that one. So this one is funny, and it goes without saying. Christian Yelich will hit for the cycle against the Reds again. I don't know how many times. I want to say 3 he's done that so far, but that's great. Freddie Peralta will throw a no-hitter against the Rockies as a part of a comeback season in which he makes 27 starts with a sub 3.0 ERA. That's a couple predictions packed into one there, Adam, but we'll give you credit on that one because I have believed for years that Freddie will throw a no-hitter, so he's just throwing that out there, and he's got no-hit stuff. Obviously, Burns already has one, so if Burns throws another, that'd be amazing, but Freddie, 27 starts with a sub 3. I'm buying that one. I'll take that one. John Singleton. Ooh, we got John Singleton to mention. John Singleton will not only hit his first major league home run since 2015, he'll break Big Russ Brannion's record for the longest home run in the history of Miller Park turned into American Family Field. Brannion's 480-foot home run off of Greg Maddux on July 27th, 2004 is the mark to beat. I don't know. I don't think we'll see that guy, Singleton, but we'll leave that one. Barrowman will continue to haunt fans in section 217. McKelvey's stretching here. A lot of these are stretches. And I get he's trying to be funny. He's trying to pander to the audience, but we don't need it. Predict about the team, man. That's what we're here for. Garrett Mitchell will be the first Brewer since Paul Molitor in 1987 to steal 3 bases in 1 inning. I like this. Garrett Mitchell's fast, so I'm okay with that. We'll take that one. After finishing 10th last year, the Brewers will lead the majors in stolen bases. Yelich will go all in for his new role as leadoff hitter and set the pace with 40. Okay, so there rule changes, and I'm going to kind of pause my talk on that for a minute. The rule changes in the bigger bases and everything like that they've done for safety and the shift and all that. I totally think this is possible. This is not only the first time that we're going to see bigger bases and stuff like that, but yeah, I think they're going to be a little more aggressive, especially with the shifts, because you're not going to be hitting into the shift as easy as you were in the past. And we'll see how that all plays out. I mean, that's yet to be seen. They did some testing in the minors, but again, the numbers in the minors are totally different than the majors, so I don't see how any of that is relevant to right now and to what we're doing. So I don't know. We'll see. That's 40 stolen bases for Yelich, though. Maybe it's a possibility. I hope he has a bounce back. I really do. I may diss on Yelich, and I may have said he's not the franchise player that we need him to be. but at the same time, I always hope for the best. So, moving on. Battling a slump, Rowdy Tellez will wear Hobie Milner's uniform pants for a game and hit a homer. Okay, that one got me. That's been the funniest one so far, and I don't think Rowdy's gonna slump this year. Rowdy's going off. I should do an early predictions episode. Comment down below if you think that's a good idea. Jesse Winker will make the National League All-Star team. I could see that. NL Central. As much as I think the divisions are kind of being shied away from in baseball with the addition of us playing. That was like a weird dust bunny. Did you see that? Okay. With the addition of us playing all teams, I think divisions matter a little bit less nowadays, but okay. All right, we'll take it. Devin Williams will struggle early as he adapts to the new pace of play regulations, but he will finish the season with more saves than Josh Hader. No. Sorry. Josh Hader is still the best closer in baseball, despite his struggles last year. Despite everything, Josh Hader is the best closer in baseball. End of story. I don't think I'll have more saves. We've been notorious as a team for having guys with great amount of saves and good closers. Gagne, Hoffman, Turnbow. We've had all these closers. Dan Kolb. Yeah, that's a throwback. But yeah, I'm going to say Devin Williams will be good. He'll be great. But I don't know if he can be better than his mentor, so to speak. The annual breakout reliever no one saw coming is Think Peterson Strzelecki in 2022 will be Adam Samarnas. Okay, sure. Jackson Churio will spend most of the season in Double-A and have tough time replicating last year's rocket trip. He'll finish the year at Triple-A Nashville. I apologize. Excuse me. I'm gonna go with him on this one. These superstar guys that we get so hyped on, and or Jackson Churio, buy his card, get his signature, blah blah blah. There was a lot of hype around that last year. And no disrespect to anyone who did it. I get it. I think you're trying to make an investment, but at the same time, I just don't see it being the end all be all at this juncture where we stand. And I'd like to hope that he comes up this year, but I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. So I guess I'm with him on that one. Bryce Turang will lead Brewers rookies in plate appearances and hits. Ooh, I like this one. Bryce Turang needs to come up and needs to play. We are making a youth movement, obviously, since we have not made any moves for free agency or anything of that nature in Brewers offseason so far. As of my recording here on January 1st, 2023, there's been $0 spent. So, okay, I'm okay with that. Out of utility infielders, Castanera, Mike Brasso, Abraham Toro, and Owen Miller, Hura will get the most major league plate appearances. Don't ask me where he'll play. I don't think Hura's going to be with the team. My opinion. But all right, I'll let you have that one. William Contreras will hit 30 homers. Maybe. I don't got too much on that one. Manager Craig Counsell will get his first gray hair. I'm sure he's got some. Burns will go into his final start of the season, needing 10 strikeouts to break Ben Sheets' single-season club record, but finished too shy of the mark. Sheets, sitting in the owner's seat, will stand and take a bow. That's weirdly specific. Sure. Why not? Stearns will be hired by another team before the end of 23, but it won't be the Mets or Astros. Wrong. He's going to the Mets. Come on. The NL Central will be finish the Brewers, Cardinals, Cubs, Pirates, Reds, which means the Brewers will make the playoffs as number 23. Okay. I don't think we, and this could be debated in a later article, later episode, later this week, probably Wednesday's episode, if I could do a little bit of foreshadowing. I have trouble seeing that the Brewers are better than they started this season last year. I mean, there's been some key ads, there's been some key losses, but the Cards got better. The Cards got way, 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 way better. Cubs definitely got better. I could see us falling into a battle for second or third place. With the Cubs, Reds, Pirates. They got the Pirates above the Reds. All right. I mean, I'll give it to him. It's his opinion, not mine. But maybe I just need to do the early predictions at this juncture of the game. It may not be too early. So, obviously, for we had a Christmas holiday in here, guys. So I've been kind of taking a little bit of a break, and sometimes you need that, and you need to reboot, and especially formulating the plan for this new podcast. So, part of this new podcast and part of what we're doing here today is we're going to start this as a daily podcast. This is going to be an everyday thing. Half an hour to an hour of content every day, talking about different topics, breakdowns, that kind of thing. Later this week, we are going to have some special guests on the pod. We're gonna bring back some old members, some old team members, and really get it going. I mean, this thing is gonna fire off, and there's nobody that really covers the Milwaukee Brewers unless you lock onto those other folks, and that Brandon's getting a little better. I'll give him that. He mentioned some things sometimes that I'm just downright, I don't care to talk about the new sponsorships. I might blurb that there's a new barrel yard coming to Miller Park in the restaurant to be named later's spot, but I'm not gonna sit on it. I ain't. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to go without mentioning the Josh Hader thing here. I do want to mention some other things outside of in the whole world of baseball, because there's just some things that are going on right now that are quite frankly hilarious and deserve time on the airwaves. The whole Carlos Correa episode that we are watching right now, and I don't know what could be the issue. Obviously, we won't know because they won't tell us, because that's medical privacy. But I think it's interesting. I think it adds a fun dynamic to the offseason. Cubs in talks with Hosmer. Don't really care about Hosmer. Padres are listening on Grisham and Kim. Grisham, obviously, was a Milwaukee Brewer that we traded. That's 2 years in a row we traded with them. That's funny. Mets are still negotiating with him as of the 27th. Murphy got an extension. So as you guys know, like the Braves trade for a player and then they extend that said player. So it's always kind of weird what the Braves do here. I'm also going to read just a little brief piece here. All my references are spread throughout many sources. I find it easiest to just kind of consume everything, read a little bit of everything, even the articles that I don't necessarily find the most factual, the other sports journalists, Brewers journalists that are out there. I read it all, guys, and I dabble. And if there's a reason I don't mention something, it's because I'm like, I didn't find that the most factually or the most interesting, like it just seemed a little out of left field. The Justin Turner stories that people have been posting and things like that. Obviously, that was before Justin Turner signed a deal with the Red Sox, but I mean, at the same time, it's It's just funny to me. It's very funny the things that people come up with. And Kutch's free agency. That's what I wanted to touch on. He was actually being in talks with the Dodgers. We signed another guy. That's what I wanted to say. Where is he? Oh, Feliciano's gone. We signed Thomas Pannone to a minor league deal. He's a left-handed reliever. So there's another option there. Oh, Feliciano's gone. We got rid of him. Yay! At this juncture, guys, we're sitting on the precipice of kind of trying to hear and learn at this point in the offseason where we're going, what's coming for news. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. We're gonna run one position player on each team that's set to break out. Let's see who they say the Brewers have that's gonna break out. Obviously, with the Christmas holiday, things have kind of slowed down, so there's not as much to talk about. So some of these first couple of episodes of 2021 will be 2021. Well, I'm going right way back. We'll be a little slower. Once I get the pace and the feel. Brewers, and this is my guy. This is who I said. First baseman Rowdy Tellez. On one hand, last year was a breakout of sorts for Tellez, who led the Brewers with 35 home runs. But despite that, he was worth a .8 Fangraphs WAR, meaning there is room for much more production. Next year's rule changes could help. No Brewers player is happier to see the end of the extreme shifts than Tellez, the left-handed slugger who was shifted against 78.4% of the time last season. According to StatCast, batted .215 on balls in play. Of the 225 hitters who put at least 250 balls in play last year, only 5 of them had a greater deficit between his expected batting average and his actual batting average. Tellez expected batting average was 252, and his actual batting average was 219. And that came from our friend Adam McCalvey. So Adam McCalvey writes just about everything MLB puts out for the Brewers. So that was a good little blurb on Rowdy. And it's funny that he said Rowdy would slump and wear Hobie Milner's pants. Anyways, yeah, so Rowdy, one of my guys, one of my favorites. I expect a 40 home run season out of him. I really do. Much higher batting average than 219, obviously. Oh gosh. I'm not gonna go. I just today I don't want to go too deep. I think we're gonna cut this thing off at a half an hour today. Like I said, I'm gonna do some more deeper dives this week. Before we wrap today's episode, I want to talk about this, and I'm not gonna be able to find it. I'm really not. I know I won't. I'll try. Just give me a sec. Um, mm. So basically, what I'm alluding to and what I referenced earlier is there was somebody on Reddit who posted this thing that they had lunch or Christmas holiday. They had a Christmas holiday with a member of the Milwaukee Brewers staff, and they kind of played the role of insider. This guy's posted stuff before, but he's just one of these guys that kind of is a leaker and a stirrer of things. So, what it means to be a Brewers fan, so we connect with Grill Patch. Possible trades for the Yankees. Oh, I love these trades. Oh my god, people put some funniest stuff out online. What is the best Brewers podcast to listen to? Well, the Miller Park Minute podcast, of course. Anything other than Lockdown? My god, it's so bad. Tom was great in the background in media helped him. So too many podcasts. 5 to 7 minutes of yes. This guy is right on. 5 to 7 minutes of the episode of commercials is too short. So, you guys can let me know. Do you guys like longer podcasts? I'm tangenting here because Brews Unfiltered is pretty decent. Okay, but we want to talk more. Um, I know my podcast is not going to be mentioned because my podcast is not really like super big and I don't do enough episodes. So that's going to change here in 2023. Buying tickets, my wife planned a trip to the great state of Wisconsin. So, anyways, this guy basically said he claimed he was a insider of sort, or had a lunch or a family meal with a Brewers staffer. Maybe it was Thanksgiving. But anyways, he posted this article basically saying that the Brewers are here it is, here it is, here it is. Awesome. Okay, asked about the thoughts of the blackouts. Teams get share of the revenue. That doesn't matter. That's really irrelevant. Blackouts, that's going to be a long battle. That ain't going to be won overnight. It is what it is. Which former Brewers player was his favorite to work with? Suter. Okay, that's believable. He was an awesome guy. Few counts than him. Yount is also around in his free time and great to have. Okay, so some of this is fluff and just added in here, I think, to make this article more believable, or this post more believable. But it says status of Burns, Woodruff, and Adames. They're still pursuing Willie hard with the shortstop market really threw things off. He wants 10 years, around 270. Milwaukee's willing to go 8 for 160. Still optimistic something gets done. He's not getting traded. Woodruff, they'd had preliminary talks with his agent. He's not aware of any numbers being exchanged. Burns is either gone as a free agent or traded. They are so far apart, he doesn't see anything coming through, but maybe next offseason things change. I don't know about that. It just seems very weird to me. Like, why would what position is this guy in that he knows all of this stuff? Positions they're looking to improve. We might see a reunion with Big Sweat himself, Jimmy Nelson. Don't see why. That's I don't know. Talking about him as a reliever, obviously, he went through the roster, constructed more than just young guys. Trust council's decisions. They believe they have flexibility in the matchups. Turing will compete with Turo and Urias. What is the thing? Okay, people keep saying we don't have a third baseman. Urias is like been the third baseman, and he was pretty serviceable. He has a lot of room to improve, but I guess I don't see where we don't have it. Okay, here's where this gets funny. And this is where I'm calling this article out. He talks about Yelich getting at bats and games at first base. That seems like a very big stretch, 10 to 15 games. Yelich needs to have consistency in his life. And I think the organization knows that. That's why they put him in the leadoff spot. So he gets consistent number of bats. He's always out there, I don't know. We'll see. Hater trade. This is super divisive in the organization. The ultimate decision came down to Stearns, but they take a lot of other people's input. The analytics of the team said to trade him. He's only going to regress. Scouting really liked Ruiz. It was good return. Council did not want the trade to happen. Was pissed when it went through. Stearns didn't appear 100% confident. I've beat this to death. I'm gonna leave it alone. I won't touch it. Listen to my other content if you want to hear what my thoughts on that. Opinion on Cohen. The office basically laughs and goes, what the F? Anytime a deal is announced, he's driving the market up. He can only sign so many players, so eventually the Mets won't be an option for players for a big payday. I disagree. He's going to keep making money because you think that a guy like that is not going to take risks and keep going. He's obviously put this much money, and maybe tomorrow's episode, Tuesday's episode, we will talk more specifically about my thoughts on why Steve Cohen is actually good for baseball and what would happen if we had a Steve Cohen in Milwaukee. But yeah, I think there's funny business with that Renfroe stuff. So they basically are in this little blurb here. He's talking about Hunter Renfroe was not a good player in the clubhouse, and he basically goes out and calls him racist. The guy, not the guy who wrote the article. He had a problem with the Hispanic players. There was no specific examples of racism, though. I think this is really weird because if this guy is some kind of insider, what kind of insider is he? First of all, to throw shade like that, knowing this guy would post this. I mean, he obviously knows this guy. This guy's done this before, apparently. I don't know. Talking about the concessions, don't care. Does he know I post this online? Not online, but he knows I talk about it. First of all, a lot of these things he's saying, the racism especially, and some of the weird random stuff he talks about, like, I don't think an insider of the Milwaukee Brewers would talk about this stuff with just any old family member sitting around at Christmas. I don't. Last part he talks about a beer district. And as I've alluded to in previous live sessions, previous videos, I agree that is something they need. They need to amp that up. 14th in attendance. I think you could honestly take away a little bit of the parking lots that we have there, build up some restaurants, build some things that will net the Brewers revenue. Put a 7-Eleven across the street and charge them, have them build it on our parking lot. Who cares? Make the money. And maybe we can spend it more on other players. Approach Quick Trip. Get Quick Trip to sponsor the parking lots. They'll slap a building up. Who knows? I've got a lot of ideas for that. I could do a whole podcast on that. My idea is where the Brewers could cash in and make some more money. I mean, 14th in attendance, though. Come on, guys. That's why I say they should spend more money. That's where I say that, because you could just push the envelope if you sign more stars. But I digress. So if you want to read this whole little piece, it's by Old Barry O. It's Christmas with a Brewers employee, questions answered. Yeah, it's on Brewers Reddit. So go ahead and dive into that. If you think it's true, awesome. Good for you. I just can't stomach that kind of junk. And I thought I'd bring it to the attention of the crowd. But that being said, guys, we're coming back tomorrow, Tuesday, with another episode. I am Eric. This is the Miller Park Minute. If you want to support me, throw a like, throw a subscribe, share it with your friends, and we'll be back again And again, with more and more videos, we're going to do the long form, the podcast form. So if you can't watch on YouTube, you can always check me out on the Anchor podcast app, the Apple podcast app, Spotify, basically anywhere you find podcasts. This is going to be there. And we'll come at you every day now with different things. We're going to do some short videos on the YouTube channel, and we're going to clip this up too. So some of my hot takes will be out there. If you have any desire to write shows, to be a part of this show, to make a special guest appearance once a week, once a month, please reach out. I would love to hear from you. Like I said, all my socials are linked below. Uh, that's all I got for today's episode, guys. We'll catch you in the next one tomorrow morning. Thank you for listening and watching. You guys have a great day, and go Brewers.